camera there. Welcome to the show. This meeting is apparently being live streamed. In just a moment here, I'll hand it off to D. I'll babble for a second while the progress bar moves here. D, go for it and tell people who can and cannot be here.
What's going on, everybody? This show is for educational and entertainment purposes only. You have to be 21 and over to be here. If not, you have to get out of here. That means you, and you. Back to you, Freemadoro.
All of the above. Thank you. Thank you, D. Very emphatic indeed. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I think I am once again, or am I? No, I think I'm in the wrong. I think I'm logged into the wrong thing. Anyway, I'll figure out here in a second. So welcome, Miss Chronic. Looks like Miss Chronic is first in the chat. Very, very well done.
Right on. First one.
Yeah, I absolutely logged into the wrong account here. Well, anyway, ladies and germs, we'll figure it out here in a moment. Kind of bad news for me, good news for you, maybe. I don't know. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. I was going to be kind of away for the show, but I decided I can't fucking move plants with my back today, so I decided to wait until tomorrow. Sucks a little bit because I got to get those plants out as fast as possible, but whatever, it is what it is. In the meantime, so I'll be here hopefully for the next little bit. I might have to leave before. Well, it probably should be fine. So we probably should have a just fine safety meeting. So hop on, folks. If you guys are new to the drill or whatever, hop onto the show. You guys are welcome to come and chat with us. This is basically. Oh, right. I probably should log into the right account here in a second. What am I trying to say? Yeah, it's a conversational show, so you guys are welcome to hop on here. I have been way too busy lately to get guests, so my apologies, folks. No guests today. Hopefully I'll get back into that. Hopefully, for example, in September, I'll get back into some of the normality of this and the other show. But in the meantime, folks, we're trying to keep on keeping on. Before I get to the disclaimers and everything else, it's kind of hilarious, actually, by the way. The other day I was talking about how age restrictions basically from YouTube follow a distinct pattern, and I made the mistake of saying what the pattern that I had identified was, and I said, oh, it would be different if it was this other pattern. Well, so sure enough, the next several freaking what's the word I'm looking for, age restrictions followed that new pattern. So fuck you very much. I know who you are, you fucking fake dreaded ass. Anyway, bucktooth motherfucker. Anyway, dumb as 3 boxes of rocks in a fucking crate. Anyway, but he certainly can report people like the sniveling little shit that he is. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into a bad mood, before I get myself into a bad mood by all those fuckers, I'll just say, looking for testers, ladies and gentlemen, looking for a bunch of testers for a few new lines. I would like to get that stuff worked on as soon as possible, frankly. So if you are willing to commit to basically popping seeds in the very near future, that's the kind of thing I'm looking for. If you don't have any availability for the next 6 months or so, please do let me know, because honestly that won't help me with this round of seeds. I could always put you on the list for a future round because I intend to do testers in the future. In the meantime, folks, if you have availability coming up, obviously for some folks it's bad timing for the Northern Hemisphere for outdoors, but folks, if you are indoor growers, for example, in the Northern Hemisphere, that would be super helpful. If you are outdoor growers in certain parts of the outdoor or the Southern Hemisphere, that would obviously be helpful as well. So, ladies and germs, some Jack the Ripper crosses that I mentioned to you before, that wonderful Jack the Ripper male that I promise, show photos when I finally am able to put them on the computer. It's just the fucking craziness of all the craziness been going on. Beautiful Jack the Ripper male. I got a wonderful pack of seeds. I mean, I'm being too superlative. I got a pack of seeds from Delman, original TGA Jack the Ripper. It was a wonderful gift. That I can say, it was a wonderful gift. And out of that, I pulled this exemplary male. Actually, a really exemplary male. I've just finished basically doing the first test run with him, which counted as also his first breed run. And I let him basically finish fully, basically, which sounds weirdly gross, but anyway, I let him basically finish his life essentially. So now I'll have a chance to actually smoke him, because the sacks and fucking whatever, I can't even think of the words right now, they can be dusted off basically, and underneath is a bunch of bud meat, which I'll show you pictures of, with actual trichomes on it. It's really quite funny. A lot of people don't know that. Anyway, long story short, I'm going to be smoking that Jack the Ripper here in the near future and telling you about him, and I think he's going to be an exemplary male for quite a few lines going forward. I'm going to weave him in and then also keep him as something to do back crosses with in the future, I think. So in the meantime, Bedrock Boogie, Oaxacan Thunderfuck, Cuvée F2, same as the Morgana. You guys, eagle-eyed people probably know, and then also an unnamed Afghan that I'm just basically not telling you guys about. That's the kind of project one. That's the one that if you're really interested in a project, that definitely could be that. I don't know what that one will release because the lineage should be exceptional. The terpenes coming off the plants that I've been messing with have been exceptional, but none of these Afghans that I've been able to mess with, I can't tame them. Basically, in this place, I can never really get them to be happy. So, still a work in progress for me with those. I'm not giving up because they are quite exceptional line, and I would really like to keep working on them. In the meantime, I think it's going to stabilize them quite a bit to run them into that well, actually, I have two testers, to be perfectly honest. I have some old Coot Special ones that honestly now I realize I probably don't have time to deal with. So frankly, I could send those out. Actually, the exact same Afghan with the Coot Special male, and now the same Afghan with the Jack the Ripper male, which should be weirdly similar because both the Jack the Ripper and the Coot Special have a predominantly kind of a lemony, either skunky, cleanery, that kind of wheelhouse, terpinolini aroma, and honestly, a similar-ish kind of hazy high, basically, right? Jack the Ripper is not exactly a haze, but it's very close to what you would call a lemon, like a short finishing lemon haze, basically. Anyway, also, Fumidoro Skunk Works, ladies and germs. I've got 4 testers coming up from that. Thank you very much to Sam Olson for doing a bang-up job on that one. He found an exemplary male. We didn't get a chance to save that male because honestly, just like with me, Sam's had some stuff going on in his life. Really well done to him for actually pulling off a successful grow, even though I happen to know some of the stuff that happened in his life. Anyway, just goes to show you never really know what people are going on or what kind of stuff is going on in people's lives behind the scenes. You know, people could even smile to your face and everything and still be dealing with quite a bit. Anyway, well done, Sam. So we're going to have 4 testers, basically Runts of Eden cross the Coot Special, cross back to itself, essentially, and then also Runts of Eden cross the Coot Special, cross to Forum cut cookies. Or actually the other way around because the male was the Runts of Eden Coot Special male. So that was the male on the Fumidoro Skunk Works project is what we're calling it. Well, we're not calling, that's not the name, but it's a Fumidoro Skunk Works project, basically. It's the Runts of Eden cross to the Coot Special, cross to the Runts of Eden cross to the Coot Special, basically. So you could even basically call that an F2 of that, I suppose. But in the meantime, we didn't plan that. We didn't plan the marketing super well. But in the meantime, we'll probably have to name those in the near future here. Sign up, my friends. What could be possibly better than free seeds? All you have to do is fucking grow them. I mean, you don't even necessarily have to do a good job because the whole point is to get good data, basically. So if you are a beginning grower, that's data too. I mean, I would prefer obviously moderate to advanced growers, but every once in a while, it's nice to have some new growers as well, because you never know the problems that can come up in a new grow. New growers always run into weird new shit. Sometimes they have amazing new ideas. It's kind of a funny thing. People with fresh eyes often do have fresh ideas, but they also get into fresh, weird fucking problems that you've never thought of in your life. So sometimes that is helpful too. Anyway, long story short, looking for all kinds of different testers. I'm looking for committed testers. So that's the most important thing, really, that you are actually committed to following through with planting the seeds, watering the seeds, not forgetting to water the seeds, continuing to water the seeds until it's time to harvest them, harvesting them, smoking them, on and on and on, right? If you are willing to commit to that, I feel like that's a pretty freaking amazing trade. I always thought it was an amazing trade to get cool new genetics from breeders that no one else has had a chance to mess with. Maybe no one else will have a chance because maybe the breeder will get busy with something else. There's all kinds of reasons why you abandon a project, and it's not just for quality. I've abandoned tons and tons of projects that were awesome, but I didn't have time, or I didn't have time to do a whole project with it, or whatever the case may be. Anyway, I think it's cool to be a tester. If you guys agree, sign up. I am going to try maybe today. I fucking don't know, man. It's been a crazy time. I'm going to try to do an actual application and maybe put it on my website, fumidoro.com. And perhaps you guys can apply there. But in the meantime, like I say, you can always DM me on Discord. You can always email me, fumidor@chronictable.com. I do still have that fucked up email glitch where anybody that sends me something from Gmail, I have to remember to switch my email to proton@gmail.com, whatever the fuck, or no, chronictable@protonmail.com, whatever the shit. check your spam folder. In other words, I guess, if you haven't gotten an email from me, because I might have had to change the email. It's so fucking weird. I will try to fix it, but it's taken forever, and I've tried a few times and I have failed at it. Anyway, if you literally have any other email address than Gmail, it'll be fine. But if you have a Google or Gmail address, and I have Google and Gmail addresses, so it's kind of annoying, you will have a problem with my fucking Proton mail address. It's so frustrating. Anyway, it's due to actually a good thing that Google is doing for anti-spoofing to prevent people stealing identities and then basically ripping you off, phishing you or whatever, PHI or whatever the fuck. Anyway, but in the meantime, it causes me a big pain in the ass, because anyone with an owned domain, so for example, chronictable.com, or if you owned suckabagadicks.com, you'd have to change your settings as well, and all your emails to Gmail people would bounce back. It's so frustrating. Anyway, I wonder who owns suckabagadicks.com. That'd be a pretty amazing person, I bet. Anyway, could be someone from Run the Jewels. Now that I think about it, they have the classic line, "Run backwards through a field of dicks," which actually was kind of funny, because a friend of mine was female and told me, "Oh, that doesn't actually sound so bad." And I was like, "Right, it is really just a matter of perspective, isn't it?" Anyway, I should now do the disclaimer, because now we're talking about dicks and lunatics and everything else. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, what's that, Smashed?
Nuts.com.
Nuts.com. That's a good address. It's probably a peanut company or something.
It is.
That's somebody with a sense of humor. Nuts.com. All right, share sound. Please work this time.
I want to open
Let's go. Can you guys hear that? What's up?
Yes.
Hi there, everybody. There's a bird's nest behind me, and that bird is telling you that, first of all, before anything else in the show is for adults only, 21 and over. Wherever you are, if the rules are a little bit different, if you have to be 23 or 24 or something else, please follow your local rules. Where I am, it's 21 and over to be an adult, so please do follow those rules. The show is not for children. It is for adults only. Please also remember that this show is completely and totally drug-free. We do not actually purvey any kind of drugs of any kind. You cannot get drugs from this show of any kind. You cannot buy them, you cannot borrow them, you cannot steal them, you cannot get them bequeathed to you, you cannot get drugs from this show. So please do not bother reporting this show for purveying drugs or anything else. You cannot in any way get drugs from this show. There's no secret menu, there's no super secret menu, there is no other way to get any kind of illegal product from my show. Also, please remember, we're doing this a little bit impromptu, so please bear with us, ladies and gentlemen, for the bird squawks and everything else. Extremely dangerous challenges are not shown on the show. Challenges that pose an imminent risk of physical injury are never shown. Dangerous or threatening pranks are also never shown on the show. Pranks that lead victims to fear imminent, serious physical danger or that create serious emotional distress in minors. Instructions to kill or harm are never shown on the show, showing viewers how to perform activities meant to kill or maim others. For example, giving instructions to build a bomb meant to injure or kill others. Hard drug use or its creation is never shown on the show. Content that depicts abuse of or giving instructions on how to create hard drugs such as cocaine or opioids. Hard drugs are defined as drugs that can mostly lead to physical addiction. I add the proviso that sometimes you'll hear people on the show interact or have tell stories about how they have interacted in one way or the other with some drugs, cocaine, opioids, other drugs in their past. Please always assume that those are negative portrayals. Those are cautionary tales, and you should never under any circumstances emulate those stories. It's the position of Fumidoro and Fumidoro and the Flavors, everyone on Fumidoro and all of the guests, that drugs are bad and you should not under any circumstances emulate those stories. And of course my phone locked while I was talking. Instructional theft or cheating is never shown, ladies and gentlemen. Showing viewers how to steal tangible goods or promoting dishonest behavior would never be discussed on the show. Hacking is never shown. Demonstrating how to use computers or information technology with the intent to steal credentials, compromise personal data, or cause serious harm to others, such as but not limited to hacking into social media accounts. And finally, bypassing payment for digital content or services, showing viewers how to use apps, websites, or other information technology to gain unauthorized access to audio content, audiovisual content, full video games, software, or streaming services that normally require payment. We would never discuss any of those things. Finally, once again, ladies and gentlemen, the show is, of course, for adults only, and of course, we do not, under any circumstances, offer drugs to you. Even though other channels might have secret menus, we do not. Under no circumstances can you find anything illegal in the show. The cannabis content that we do discuss is legal under the 2018 Farm Bill, and the seeds that we purvey also are legal. All the breeders that come through the show, it's legal for us to purvey seeds because the seeds have no THC in them, so they are legal under the 2018 Farm Bill. Thanks, folks, for bearing with the introduction of the prologue here. We've recorded it Indeed, thank you folks for bearing with that. We have to do it because of the absolutely incessant reporting on this and my other channel. If we didn't do this, we will still get probably age restricted on both this show and the other, but if we weren't to do that, I would get strikes and the channel would get removed and everything else. It's really quite obnoxious, honestly, that these pointless people just continue to I don't even know what it is that they're trying to do to this channel, but
Damn you, cannabis Karens.
seriously, just pointlessly jerking off to their freaking report button or something. I don't really know. Maybe it's like an accidental butt dial while they're whacking it. I don't know. Regardless of what they're doing, they're pretty pathetic people, so I guess wave at the pathetic people. In the meantime, though, the rest of us, my friends, are going to enjoy a good time. I'm just about to roll up some particularly frosty. That's not very well trimmed, though, but particularly frosty Morgana, or sour Morgana. Sorry, I think this is the number. Well, you guys wouldn't care anyway, honestly, but I think this was the one that I called number 5. So if you guys ever remember me talking about her, this one is weirdly piney. I haven't heard or I haven't seen this profile from Morphology, just from the absolute frostiness of it. She's a little bit what's the word I'm looking for? This is still a good amount of weed, but I should probably weigh it actually. She is still a pretty good amount of weed, but she's a little bit fluffy, a little bit fluffier than I want. So I didn't keep this one. I think I even already didn't keep the clone. But anyway, I wouldn't keep this clone, but a really good yield on it and really frosty. And like I say, out of nowhere, pine, like pine and pine needles, forest floor. It's still sour Morgana. You can still tell that it's sour Morgana, and especially when I smoke it, I'm still gonna get some berries and stuff. I mean, obviously you're not gonna get it, but what's the word I'm looking for? Surprisingly piney. Look how frosty that is. I don't know if it'll pick up on the image, but just fucking caked with frost. Anyway, nice good yield on it too. Reminded me very much. Oh, actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, reminds me very much of Space Queen. I've never had a chance to grow Space Queen by herself, but every time I've grown Space Queen crosses, a lot of times not every time, a lot of times, this phenotype pops up, and it's basically this very fluffy Space Queeny thing, I think. Interesting, because it reminded me a lot of Roswell, I just realized. And I had a couple of Kaffir limes that were just like this, a couple of cuvées that were just like this, a few other things. Interesting. Anyway, I still have not logged into the chat, so I haven't pinned the link. All right, I better do that. Better pin the link so that you guys
I
can
posted it once.
join us. Come and join us, ladies and gentlemen. We're here to chat with you, my friends. We're here to have a good little conversation. Come join us and add to it.
I'm smoking truffle marmalade. And it has, so I was looking at the package, it's got beta caryophyllene, limonene, and I don't even know how to say this one. HUMULENE, humulene.
Humulene. Hops has a lot of humulene.
So that's why it kind of tastes like earthy, maybe.
I think, don't quote me on this. I think we should look this up before I say too much of it. So don't, because I realize sometimes people actually take me seriously. I think humulene is closely related to what's the word I'm looking for? Now I can't even think of the word. One that's in fucking mangoes, myrcene. Let's take a look here. Our humulene and I literally just said it, myrcene. All right, I might have already just automatically been wrong. Humulene is a monocyclic sesquiterpene, whereas what is myrcene? Hold on. I thought I had a silver bullet for that. It's a monoterpene. All right, we literally, this is so infuriating. We need to get some fucking terpene people on this show. We need to get some goddamn terpene people on here, because all of us, I feel like, are banging rocks together like cavemen in, discovering fire. And it really frustrates me that a bunch of us would like to know a lot more, and a lot of us don't really have access to the information. Perhaps that's inaccurate. Perhaps we haven't looked enough. I don't know. But some of this next move, I hope to basically spend more time on stuff like this. What's the word I'm looking for? I'd really like to dig into the individual terpenes and what they do, the combinations of terpenes. How do I put this? How the families of terpenes move through the family of cannabis in their effects, because all these effects kind of cluster together in many weird ways. Oh, that's right. I got to pin the link. Thank you for reminding me. Where are we at here? There's D. Cheers, everyone in the chat, by the way.
I kind of want to get like a chart like that, D, but I want all of them. I want all of the terpenes.
Oh, I don't think I have it on this computer. On my other computer that is still down, which is really helpful. I have a beautiful chart from somebody that had a whole wheel of terpenes. Could I possibly have it on this computer too? No, I don't think so. Dang it, that's annoying. What would it, oh, I remember I couldn't actually find it by searching it. Wheel of terpenes.
Wheel.
Wheel of
Oh.
terpene descriptions.
That's it. Hop on, folks. I don't know why we're here, just talking to ourselves. If you guys want to hop on here and talk to us, let's do that. Otherwise, I don't know, maybe we'll, oh, you know what? Actually, I might have just found it. Western culture extra. I don't think this is the one, but it's almost identical to what I was looking at. How big can I get this? Come on. Dang it, 404. Formula 404.
Well, Farbex is pretty knowledgeable with terpenes. He extracts them and stuff.
Yeah, but that doesn't help. We can't absorb his knowledge osmotically or something.
Oh no, someone said it would be nice to have someone that knows a lot about terpenes.
Yeah. No, I agree. Wait a minute, I'm not able to find the one.
Oh, yeah.
Wheel of cannabis terpenes.
Yeah, yo, I gotta leave soon, like in the next 10 minutes. So you guys gotta.
Honestly, we might just fucking bounce here a little bit. It's a little bit frustrating sometimes, this show, but what can you do? Yeah, I'm not finding it. That's annoying.
Oh, actually, let's change since it's daytime. I'll change it to my phone real quick and we'll try to go check out my little breeding project.
Oh, sweet. That sounds good.
Give me a second.
We'll look at that some other time. Here's Midwest. Good to see you. He likes pine a lot. Been a minute since I've had anything that tastes piney. I smell it all the time, but it never transfers. I agree. There used to be a lot more piney stuff, and honestly, I think every time you smell something old school, I have to be honest, I think pine is one of the things that you're smelling. A lot of the old school stuff, Oaxacan Thunderfuck, all those things, they have a pronounced kind of pine needle and stuff like that. Anyway, Smoke Sins, good to see you, buddy. Welcome, everyone. For some reason, my chat is not letting me go back further. It's kind of weird. Only go back to Atomic Spoon. Cheers, Atomic Spoon. Good to see you, bud. Question mark, sister of Charybdis, is real piney gas. Super nice. Been enjoying it over the past week. Nice, man. I'm glad you grew it. Question mark is a strain that I tested stealthily, and then because of just weird shit that happened in life, I never actually got a chance, I thought, to release the strain publicly. Anyway, kind of a fail on my part. I honestly was doing, I think, like kind of a fun thing, honestly, and I think it would have been really fun to actually announce it, like, oh yeah, by the way, you guys have all been testing this. A lot of the different bag seeds, well, not the paid bag seeds, obviously, I'm not going to make testers pay for it, but I still got data from that. So basically, people who got bag seeds, a lot of them grew question mark, basically, without knowing it. Anyway, it was a like tested strain, basically. One of the best tested strains, ironically, of my entire line. So I had like maybe 15 people grow that one. It was pretty funny. Anyway, question mark, ladies and germs, is Queen Anne's Revenge, sister to the other Queen Anne's Revenge, basically, like you said, sister to Charybdis. Very, very piney and gassy because that mom was super, super piney. I had these two Queen Anne's Revenges, and one was very like chocolate powder, rum, what else? Cherries, and incredibly gorgeous. The other one was incredibly gorgeous too, but not quite as gorgeous as her sister, and dominantly pine and terpinolene and stuff like that. Go for it, Smash. Let me
Yeah, I can't pin.
It's a nice looking male.
This is my male. It's Chem 91 to Calio F4. This is my females, which have pistils, so they're getting pollinated. This is a papaya rum cake, and then down here, what the hell? There's a slug on my shit. Gotta take that off.
Oh yeah.
That's Chem Dog, and this is an apple fritter. Little guys. I just had clones, so I put them out here. I figured might as well pollinate them. Here, let me grab a stick to get this gross.
Could have brought a banana for scale.
Yeah, the male is the biggest plant. I actually had a super late showing male. It was the Triangle Reunion, which sucks because I really wanted to pollinate it, but whatever.
I should have weighed this. I forgot. I guess I can weigh it now.
Okay, slugs off. But yeah, oh, there's a bee. There's a bee using my male for pollen.
He's trying. He's like, why the fuck does this thing have no nectar? It makes no sense. The bee is literally just puzzled. He's like, what? You have flowers. I can tell that you have flowers. I see the bee. The bee is so puzzled. He's like, what the absolute F, man? Trying to get some nectar on this motherfucker.
Hopefully he goes lands on someone else's weed plant.
They'll be like, how the fuck did this get pollinated? They're like 100 miles away. Well, I don't know if they actually fly that far, but it's like 10 miles away. They're like, what the fuck? I don't have any weed. 10 miles.
Yeah, this fucking
1,000 acres of this state here.
So yeah, I don't know. These are flipping to flower as we speak. It's been raining all day. Chem Dog, they're actually growing. So I'm hoping that they'll pollinate because like down here on the male hasn't even really started blooming yet. This one's just starting to build pollen sacs. So I'm gonna let the male go as long as I possibly can and pollinate everything out here. Even if these get, I don't know, that's a soda can. They're small, they're not big. But like, I don't need it. As long as they get another couple inches, 4 or 5 inches, they'll have 100 seeds in them because it'll just be one nug. So, yeah, we're gonna come in here before winter. I'm gonna put a bunch of cardboard down so nothing grows. I gotta clean it out a little bit. We got a couple of the 2x4s and stuff. I'm gonna bring indoors, let them dry out. But yeah, we're gonna put either a big tarp or just straight cardboard down here so it doesn't overgrow. Usually I have a tarp on it, but I wasn't planning on doing outdoors.
What about just sawdust or something?
Say it one more time. Well, yeah, whatever.
Well, I guess sawdust would be more work probably, but
Whatever I can get cheapest, I guess, is the option.
you can sawdust cheap as fuck. Just call an arborist. They're always dropping that shit off. I mean, you can sign up to Chip Drop, obviously, but Chip Drop is a real gamble. You might get chips literally the next day. I've had friends that got chips the next day after signing up, and I've had folks that didn't get chips for like 2 years, and then all of a sudden they just get a random chip at some point, like 4 o'clock in the morning. But if you call arborists, actual tree people around town, they are always needing to dispose of wood chips. And basically, what it is they're not going to drive across town for you, but if they're in your neighborhood and they just chop down a tree, they would be happy to dump those chips at your house because it saves them from having to drive to the dump, jump chips, go back to another job. So basically you end up getting like a lot faster chip drops that way.
But don't you have to be careful?
Okay.
Don't you have to what?
I have a question about that, Fumi. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, okay, sorry. What about pests and all that, like disease in the wood chips? Wouldn't you be scared to mix that in with your soil and with your plants?
I guess I'd be scared maybe if I had trees. So that's a fair point. Like if you have a bunch of, I don't know, walnuts or whatever else that you're worried about getting blight, yeah, maybe. But I'm not so worried about that. Like on my cannabis garden and stuff, I honestly just want that stuff to break down. And the soil already has basically everything that could be wrong with most of the organisms. Again, I guess there are some exceptions, blight and whatever else. You probably don't want to spread that. But for psyllium and stuff, it's already omnipresent. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't worry too much about that. One funny thing is when you do get wood chip drops is a lot of times you'll get a fungal bloom, and it's very common for like even magic mushrooms and stuff sometimes to pop up from the stumps basically like the next day. It's pretty fucking funny. Yeah, so they definitely do inoculate your neighborhood with new freaking spores and stuff. That's definitely for sure. But
if I just rented a chipper, dude, I could literally, I have all this extra wood.
You know what? If you're going to stay there for a while, I mean, I guess for a while, because this takes a few years to get cracking, make a hugel bed. But I was going to say, like, the hugel beds aren't really worth. I mean, like there may be a little bit more trouble than they're worth for like the first 3 or 4 years, but then after that, oh man, when the freaking wood breaks down and shit.
I kind of like, as you can tell, I've been dumping like soil back here and stuff, making kind of. I'm gonna start breaking some of the wood down. But yeah, I think I'm gonna bury some of it, like pieces like this that already have like mushrooms and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice. Turkey tail.
You're working on it.
Yeah, this is all really old oak.
Dude, honestly, I don't know why you're not doing that, Smash. You've been there for a while. You're super into mushrooms. Put down some shiitake logs. Put down some.
I know. I want to. The plugs.
Yeah.
I really do want to try it. I just never got around to it.
Easy enough to do. Yeah, I have the worst luck today, lightning rounds.
So my breeding room's gonna go in here.
Breeding room for mushrooms or for cannabis?
Cannabis. Maybe I'll do some mushrooms out here.
That's cool.
Build a little. We're gonna build a little.
To have the own room, and then if you have negative pressure on it and carbon filters, you're never going to worry about losing pollen to the outdoors, and then you're also not going to have to worry about getting pollen from the outdoors.
Yeah, I'm pretty much gonna seal it in here. We're gonna, from the edge of that window over to this loft area, I'm just gonna build a little room. The shitty thing is in the winter, but I have a whole bunch of extra insulation and stuff, so I can insulate and
oh, you're definitely gonna have problems in the winter then, because you're always having problems in your basement. You're gonna full on have to heat that. Insulation is gonna do shit for you. You're gonna full on have to heat it the way you described it.
Yeah,
unless you blow that hole with lights, that might be fine. Who knows? But even
I heat during the winter anyways.
Pardon?
I heat during the winter anyways.
Gotcha.
Especially in the basement. I mean, just to keep it at. So, well, I want to keep it at 80, you know, and it's down there. It gets down to 55. It's fucking. I need to put in some work. That was the thing I
One of
really
those
like.
things in the summer, it helps with the heat. You know, the basement walls basically keep it cool. But in the winter, the basement walls also keep it cool. So yeah, like a refrigerator. Yeah.
I really liked growing where like I lived in my room and stuff, but like it was just too much in my little like my room, you know what I mean? Like I had a bed and then a tent. That's and my TV. That's about it.
Huh.
And it was nice because if you put it where like living quarters is, normally you heat your house so it's already up the temperatures you kind of want. These are my blueberry bushes. I got 4. They're old too.
Right on.
But yeah, when I was walking out here, there was a rabbit in the grass over there. There's a ton of rabbits around here. I really want to cut down this tree. I want to keep this one, but cut this one down.
I was gonna say what that picture do you? Did it
It's
look
just
funny?
it's just blocking a lot of light to the yard.
Mm.
Even this one should come down
Mm.
because it's like it hangs over the shed. But I like having a little bit of shade.
It helps a ton. People really underestimate it. Yeah.
We had a gazebo for years. It lasted
had-
3 years, and we never. Oh, you're fucking Canadian cobras.
I hope they poop on them. Fire away.
Right.
Yeah, that's getting smashed.
No, wait, whose side am I on? Dang it. No.
Bombs away.
On them. Exactly. Shoot cannons or something. All of a sudden the goose gets pooped on in the sky. It's like, what the fuck? Uno reverso,
And
motherfucker.
there's a hawk above it just laughing.
That's it.
Don't tell anybody that's my goose drone.
I think you're right, Atomic Spoon. I think he did win the question mark. All the sweeter. Obviously, all the sweeter. Well, shit, I guess no one's gonna hop on, so I don't know. Maybe we'll just bounce here in a second.
Here's my
Whatever, I shouldn't be a smart ass. Nice, D.
there's my blueberry muffins. My lonely plant. It is flowering
He's
already.
already flowering, yeah.
It's pretty. So that's pretty good. And it smells like blueberry muffin, like blueberry.
Oh, it's gonna be a nice one, yeah. I
Yeah.
have Man's cut of that. I guess he has Seattle Chronics cut of that or something. I don't remember. But anyway, Delman's cut is lovely.
Right on.
Was gonna grow. I gave some to a friend and they were all excited to grow it, and then their dog ate it. So
No, that sucks.
right. It was a nice big plant too. So yeah, that does suck.
Oh, it looks like it's not like really flowering. I wish I was that much into flowering.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking bite your tongue. Jesus Christ. Why do you want to be in that? Oh, because of rain coming or what?
Yeah, like we had a really wet year already, and now it's like going into fall, it's getting worse.
I see. Makes sense.
But
Or it's
I mean, I'm just
dry
putting
pretty much.
seeds outside. I already decided. Like I know I'm not getting flour from outdoors.
Huh.
That's kind of why I'm stressing about my garden in the basement that has the fucking thrips.
I bet. I think I was telling you, by the way, folks, anybody that's listening, there's not too many people listening right now, but if you guys are listening, what do you recommend for thrips for sort of late flower? Did we say yesterday that you're at like day 60 though? I want to say that Bud said that you were at like day 60. You could chop that shit down.
I'm right around 50, I think.
Oh, okay. So like 10 more days. Well, so you probably would lose a lot of weight basically by chopping now. You'd get a bunch of larvae bud probably. You'd still have trichomes and stuff, but it would be a lot less weight basically. Might even be half the weight, honest. Maybe not half, but might be 2/3 of the weight you'd get if you waited maybe another 10 days. That's kind of annoying.
Yeah, it's just
I told him you obviously can't spray or you shouldn't spray this late in flower plenty of people do, obviously. But just about anything you spray is gonna either have no effect or basically permeate into the trichomes, and you're gonna end up smoking it in the final flower. So horticultural oil, that'll soak, at least a little bit of it will soak into the trichome heads. They always say, even with not Xerotol, what is it fucking called? I can never think of the fucking name.
How's stuff
all the
Suffoil
time
X works
comes in a
for?
big jug. Suffoil X, even Suffoil X, they say that you can spray that until the point of harvest. I don't fucking buy it, I have to be honest with you.
Did it work good?
To kill bugs and stuff, yeah, but I wouldn't spray it on trichomes. I would try to avoid spraying on trichomes. First week or two of flower, or first 3 weeks of flower, yeah, whatever, because those trichomes probably will end up degrading and stuff anyway. But yeah, I wouldn't spray after like week 4 or something. Shit. And then
But
anything that's like
already-
water base, I mean, that may be more likely because it could just evaporate and not soak into the trichomes. But I don't know of too many things that are actually effective that are water based.
Yeah. So I've already
obviously there
decided
isn't, but
when I harvest, I'm gonna bring my air compressor down there, put my trigger on it, and I'm gonna blow all the plants off. Just to get any of the excess drips off of it, because then I don't have to like worry. So
They're also when you say that, one of the first things that someone should say is that thrips are one of the few bugs that are super mobile. They can get around pretty good. They can climb up and down the plant. They can climb into the soil. They can, I think they can fly between plants, but don't quote me on that. Anyway, they're mobile as fuck. So long story short, if you do blow them in your environment, that's going to basically mean that you have to clean your whole environment basically of
well,
thrips.
that's what's happening.
Hey, I had a suggestion. When your plants are ready to be cut down, why don't you just take them outside and blow them off?
That's a great idea, D. You might
Yeah,
stress the plants out a little bit, but
There's a combination of Mython and Jack Beanstalk there.
but I don't. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's really wet,
oh, it's wet outside.
and it's a lot of plants. You got to think I got 10 plants down there.
Don't tell me about that. I was supposed to be moving plants myself today, and it's kind of a fucking dumpster fire because my back hurts, but whatever. So yeah, you're not going to get too much sympathy from me on that. But where there's a will, there's a way, right? If you need to save something, you can save it, or at least you'll die trying. Fuck am I trying to say? Outdoors, we talk about this all the time, like a lot of the pests that we talk about are basically indoor problems. It's not to say that people don't get spider mites outdoors or something, far from it, but the real pest issues with spider mites are kind of indoor gardens, right? Like outdoors, there's a ton of predators that will take care of those things right away, to the point that sometimes if you have a super infested spider mite plant or something, literally take it outdoors, and if the fucking thing will survive, because it needs to acclimate and stuff, but if it survives the dump into the outdoors, everything outdoors will kill those spider mites, and those spider mites are basically weak little fucks because they grew up indoors. You know what I mean? Like from their very beginning of their life cycle, probably their parents and their parents' life cycle, they've been indoors without any predators, so they have absolutely no resistance to anything that comes and eats them. But so yeah, long story short, that's actually really not a bad idea. And any of your thrips that are indoors, don't even worry about inoculating the outdoors. They're just going to get fucking pounded. Stuff from the outdoors bringing indoors, that can be a different issue. But indoors to outdoors, oh, they will die like fucking cowards. It'll be like the Persian army in the movie 300. It'll be terrible. Go for it, bud.
Yeah, I'm cleaning everything as soon as possible. So like,
well, my point is, you don't even have to do much of fuck. The problem is the rain. If you can find a covered area outside that is not super humid, because I don't know what your humidity is. If you can find a place that's not super humid, like not above 65%, whatever your humidity is, you have to check, and it's covered away from the rain, I would put it outside, because that would be a great way to deal with the issue. And you're not necessarily going to get a lot of weight from the PPFD of the plants. Honestly, I feel like you're really just getting it from the plants just kind of ripening with their own residual sugars and stuff. Like by the time they're that old, a lot of them have purple leaves and stuff already anyway. They're not really photosynthesizing that much, right? So I feel like putting them outside in the kind of semi-shade, one of the least bad things you could possibly do. I guess I'll put it that way.
Well, yeah, I know, but I'm building a room down there anyways. So
Well,
like,
that's gonna take a while is what I'm trying to say.
after this harvest, everything's coming out, cleaning everything. I'm gonna like
clean the whole basement, move, like I got a fridge I got to put somewhere. I got a whole bunch of shit that's
All
getting
the more
thrown
reason
away.
to take pots outside. More space.
I gotta get rid of the soil because I had a veg tent going, but when I found the thrips, I was like, fuck. So I started to spray the veg, and it seems to be working. But I
The
already
thrips
put
are
it
easy to kill. No, just keep spraying. They're super easy to kill.
in the soil.
And like I say, one or two sachets. I mean, we're talking the sachets are a few dollars. So just go ahead and buy some Predators. You can order them from Arbico and whatever. It's a little bit more if you have to pay for shipping from one of those places, but you'll get fresher mites, which is, I guess, the benefit. So it really just depends on what kind of mites you have locally. I would just spray the absolute fuck out of them with like Suffoil X for a couple of weeks. That's probably fine. And then honestly hit them with the Predator mites.
What about
Technically,
soil?
you should hit them
though?
with 2 or 3 things, but honestly, thrips aren't that complex to deal with. Pardon?
What about the soil they're in?
Oh, again, the Predators are going to end up taking care of that. A couple of the different instars or whatever they're called of thrips, I think, do crawl down into the soil. So you are definitely going to have some thrips in the soil. And so if you don't kind of deal with that with something like Predator mites, you're just going to end up having a recurrence at some point in the future. So again, Predator mites are a really interesting thing. Bug Lady Suzanne says that there's no resistance to being eaten. Kind of hard to argue with that, you know what I mean? Like Predator mites are the Bengal tigers, and spider mites and the thrips and whatever else are biggest, you know what I mean? Yeah, and so like they can run, but they can't hide, you know.
All right, I gotta get out of here. Have a good day.
Later, Smash.
Good to see you, bud.
Yo, hi everyone.
Cheers, buddy.
I guess I'll go and show my plants now that it's sunny out in a minute here.
Hold on. Yeah, usually we see
Slow
them
today.
it's nighttime.
Yeah,
Or
good.
yeah, sometimes it's but it's sunny today. It's super humid. We like last night it didn't rain, it was just lightning. But then when I woke up this morning, it was thick, like humid weather change.
Freeman's saying centipedes might chop them. I suppose that's possible if you guys have centipedes in the area. You could potentially, well, I don't even know, maybe put them on a crate or something. That probably wouldn't help too much, but you know. Yeah, I guess you'd have to check if you have bugs that eat plants. That would be a bad thing. Honestly, like it's basically what could be better. You're in the middle of summer. Like most of the year, you couldn't do this, right? Like even in the springtime and stuff, you couldn't necessarily put the plants outdoors because it might fucking rain. It's raining where Smashed is. But like, for example, here, dude, it's perfect. It's not necessarily perfect. It's actually hot, but a lot of plants will do fine. Cannabis is surprisingly resilient to heat, right? You just got to make sure that it's watered well. It's a fucking plant. It just respires. Yeah, I'd totally put that shit outside. Not going to spray it with anything later. It pops up, you know, like I don't know, there's been a couple times in my life last few years that I've had spider mites and they'd try to tent up basically in week 7 or something. You're like, fuck, what am I going to do? And it's the question, what are you going to do? I mean, do you want to sit there and ruin your spider mite or ruin your spider mites, ruin your spider mite harvest, ruin your flowers completely? Or do you want to harvest them early and still kind of ruin them? I mean, it's a fucking hell of a one. But
well, my experience, if in flowering, if you have a few spider mites, they're gonna beat you to the end. Where thrips, in my experience, I see them in veg. It's not like I'm sure they hurt the plant a little and maybe hurt your yield a little, but it's not like spider mites. If you turn your back in the last week or so, they'll web up and go crazy. I've never had thrips out of all the things, I wouldn't, like you said, I wouldn't worry too much about them, but yeah, you gotta address it. I'm sure there's a point where they can get a population going big enough to take out the plant, but like a spider mite, oh no, they win it. They'll win. Like
they multiply so fast, it's crazy.
Yeah.
you'll see them, basically you'll see signs of them, like maybe a little bit of webbing on one leaf or something, and a week later the entire freaking cola is basically covered. It's fucking ridiculous with those things.
Yeah, like I wouldn't even put them in the same ballpark. Like that thrips, okay, that's that's like close to gnats, like not even such a big thing. Spider mites, oh yeah, that's like a whole other animal.
A good idea, Jack. Good to think creatively. That's the thing. A lot of the problems we have creative solutions in many cases. If you just kind of figure it out, you don't always have to kind of give up or whatever. I don't know. And also sometimes you learn more by actually dealing with the problem. Chopping down the plants and burning them. It works. It's very effective. But also could set you back a lot of different things. Could set you back special clones that you have, or maybe you need the medicine, or whatever the case may be. Learning to deal with the problem will help you next time. Like not only will you figure it out that time, but you'll figure it out next time. And you might make mistakes, but even from the mistakes, I feel like you'll learn quite a bit. So I actually got a fortune cookie the other day that was actually quite well timed, but it was actually also kind of a wise thought. Most of the time you get kind of halfway bullshit from fortune cookies, but it said, "Smooth seas do not a skillful mariner make." In other words, sailors who only sail on flat, clean, placid water will never actually develop the skills to be a real sailor. And there's some real truth. So if you have to deal with spider mites and russet mites and fucking root aphids and powdery mildew, and I don't even know, probably not all at the same time, that might be a sign of being a bad grower. But if you have to deal with them from time to time, it'll teach you how to deal with those things in the future, and you won't freak out, you won't lose your cool, whatever. So you can help other people with it. Anyway, what's the thought?
Well, like those type of things, like when I've had new friends that have started growing, I always say to them, well, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Like you can do everything and you can go a lot of years and avoid a pest problem, but yeah, they come. It's like it's just part of it, especially indoor. Like, yeah, indoor creates like a perfect environment, so they get going. Like I was saying last night, I've had plants that have different things that I've moved from my indoor outdoor, and whatever the conditions are outdoor, which are good conditions weather-wise and all that. Yeah, bugs don't. Yeah, spider mites can't get going, and I think it's just. I actually think it's the sun. Like light is indoor light, okay,
That's
but
awesome.
like real sun, yeah. That and maybe the temperature, the nighttime temperature, or
That I
just
think
the
is a big one.
conditions. The conditions outside are harder for them to really proliferate. Where indoor they get going, man. It's like the perfect conditions for them.
Indoors, we always kind of keep the temperature the same, right? Because we're always worrying about powdery mildew. But outdoors, there's no such issues. It drops 20, 30 degrees all the time. So you're right. I think basically those cold-blooded little fucking critters get set back, and they probably are not used to it because their whole life, since being an egg, they had like relatively mild indoor conditions, and then all of a sudden you take them outside, and basically at night you're half freezing them to death, and in the morning it probably takes them a few hours to get back going. So probably the last thing that's on their mind is reproduction. So yeah, you probably slow them way down. They probably eat way less, and then predators come along and they have no idea how to deal with them. Yeah, the whole package. Small tubes is saying dry hot or dry cold, they explode. That's amazing. I hope so. Mites Therenesis. No, Therenis. Mites, I need to look that up. That's amazing. I hope so. Anybody that's ever gotten spider mites, the idea of them exploding is wonderful. Let's look this up. Okay, he might be joking. That's too bad because that would have been amazing if mites literally blow up from the sun. That would be fucking incredible. Obviously, you know what? Now that I think about it, that doesn't make a lot of sense because how did they evolve on this planet if the sun makes them blow up? But it's still a fun thought, honestly. All right, let's show Bud's garden while we think about exploding mites. Turn your phone sideways, Bud, so we can see a little bit more. Thank you. A lot of flour out there.
Yeah, these ones reverted a little, but it's okay.
Nice.
Like I said, this is all for
Unit.
this whole bed is going into the freezer, fresh frozen.
Nice. What strain is that, Bud?
The like what I'm showing now, the 4 on the on the corners are Don Mega, and then the one in the middle is a slaps. And then
Right
on
on.
the other side, it's grape gas, and this one's grape gas, and I would have to look at the tags in on this bed.
Grape gas sounds.
Wait,
Apparently it's got a grape stumper in it.
yeah, this one is apples and bananas. On this bed, this is they weren't both put out here at the same time. So this, the first thing I was showing you is like probably was planted out here a month earlier than this side, and this side had the supplemental light going for a while. And then these, they were just extra little clones that I put out. These are the Banana Daddy, and these ones didn't get very big. In the middle is the White Wedding from Ethos that were the same size clones when I put them in this outside, and they got twice as tall, and they're flowering too, but the Banana Daddy, I guess faster, like transitioned a lot faster, and I see that indoor too. The I would probably think that the Banana Daddy is a shorter flowering cycle than the wedding. And mainly that happens in transition, like those 2 weeks of when you first turn them back. The Banana Daddy takes a set or like puts up, like starts to put up pistils or whatever. Way quicker than the White Wedding. But they both seem to be decent strains. I really like the Banana Daddy's unique. I know it smells different than anything else I have. And it's not like, oh, it smells sort of like this, or no, it's like, I guess, unique. It's unique to my palate, which I'm excited about, seeing how it like cures and smokes and like that. I'm not very good. I could probably zoom in and show this better, but you know, like before I didn't always consider washing this when I grow outside. But like 3 years ago, I had a same bed as this that I put out early, and they reverted. Like, you know, I don't know if I'm showing this good, but these like even though they got pistols on them and flowering. This like grew, the bud was already pretty much doing its thing. And then, well, a month ago, I started noticing little changes in the leaf growth, and then it spurted up like little new stems. But when you really look down in what the mature part that was, I call them bracts, but maybe it's the calyx. Yeah, it's putting on more of those, like it's stacking that like that, which more surface area, and it's like, I don't know, wait, where's my hand? I guess you call it the string test, or like the resin, if it's strings in between your fingers, it is an indication it might it will wash good. Like these guys have ways they can tell, or yeah, this
Greasy
has,
like that, I find it didn't wash as well. If it's like a little bit more sandy, I feel like it did wash a little bit more.
yeah,
Well,
it's
same.
sandy, and
Yeah.
but it's definitely got resin. It's just a matter, is it easy to wash and get
But
the,
that's it. Like some things are really like ooey gooey or something, which smokes great in a joint, but doesn't wash for shit because it's basically too soft. Like the trichomes like are not intact enough.
well, grape gas is like a washer, known washer. I'm not sure with Don Mega, except that its lineage, like I've forgotten, but it's got some GMO. It's got its lineage suggests it might wash good too. I actually think that it's more how it's grown is how it washes. Oh, there's definitely strains that are better than other ones, but you can have a strain that everyone thinks washes good, but if it, not that you didn't grow it good, but you didn't get the sandy, the resin didn't turn sandy, or and so I think the reality of what washes good or not has more to do with how it grows, how you grow it,
Could be right.
than some genetics. But then again, I don't know this from personal experience, but like it seems like some of the strains that more of the legacy strains have like a reputation. They don't wash good or high percentage, even though those are strains when you grow them are crusty. It's not like they lack
They weren't
trichrome
selected for washing,
production,
yeah.
but somehow I've read or listened to the guys that know what they're talking about discuss this stuff. Yeah, it's gritty, or some of those strains are oily, like OG. Yeah, it doesn't, like, it's not, you can't wash it very and get a good yield. Some of the classic strains don't really have good numbers washing, even though it's not like, oh well, yeah, that's expected. If you looked at it under a loop or a scope, you would hardly see any oh no, those are what I call crusty strains. There's plenty of that, but somehow it doesn't come through in the bags or whatever.
We'll have to talk about it one of these days. That's another people we should get on, or another group of people we should get on here, some hash washing people. It'd be great. We have some really famous hash washers here in Portland, so I'd love to talk to some of those folks. Hopefully I'll get to related terms.
Well, like I call them heady boys. It's like a nickname that the hash guys I know, whether they are the consumer side or the actual washers, and yeah, they're like have a language all their own, and
they speak Japanese.
yeah, they I'm just really a grower. I just focus on flower growing. That's my main thing. But I meet some guys that, yeah, they don't grow for flower. They just grow for resin.
Plants for 420 grow. Yes, shred their glass grow 420 grow. This is what I'm smoking right now actually, is dry ice. Bubble through bud through a bubble bag with dry ice. Exactly the same process.
I wish I could give it better really. So these were clone moms that, yeah, I mean, hundreds of clones came off of these plants before they outserved they were too tall in the indoor and I do this a lot. Take the moms that a lot of times once you do a mom it and let it get this tall and get this old, we don't like put them indoors. Sometimes we just cull them, like, because there's more of them than I have space outside. But yeah, where this is just one plant. It has like, I don't know how many tops. It's nothing but tops. But that was because it was used as a mom, where this was just a clone that I let grow. Yeah, there's no comparison to the amount of yield that's going to come off of it. Like this was a mom plant, and somewhere in that happens in the middle of the plant where like all the cloning and taking a lot. And when you have a mom plant, you don't really, you take clones from all three sections, but you don't have to be concerned about saving the tops or not taking the clones from the tops. So a lot of these, if I find the right branch, yeah, why it has so many other branches, because at one point we just took the best clone we could, the top, because those plants are like destined to be mothers the whole way. So you don't manicure them or try to groom them to flower. You don't fem them, or you're just trying to get as many clones off of it as you can, which then creates, as the plant gets older, more clones and more. Like this side, well, it's 5 plants, but it's only 4 plants that are all those tops. Like this one has a ton. Like each branch then has probably 10 or more tops on it. Yeah. So it works out having the moms from indoor come outside. There's pros and cons, like even this, that they revert and that I called it exaggerated light. Like, yeah, your inside environment, you usually I run 18-hour veg, 12-hour flowering, or 13 or 11-hour flowering really, but whatever, 12 and 12. Pretty much no matter what time of year, if I transfer plants, whether they're clones, teens, from indoor to outdoor, they flip, they transition. Not so much due to the season that you're in at that time, because when these came outside, we were like what would be considered the vegetative part of the cycle, but they went from 18-hour light to maybe 13-hour daytime light or whatever. Oh, that was enough to trigger it. Even if yeah, that exaggerated, it's hard to go from indoor unless you like. I've thought of doing this, but I've never had the patience to, like, if you know they're going out there in that last week, start to change the light cycle indoor, like keep them vegging, but bring it closer to the outdoor cycle. Cause that exaggerated 18-hour to daytime. Yeah, it always just triggers them to flower.
Go on, Rand. Nice looking. What was it? Was it cannabis or was it hemp? What'd you just show us?
Look good.
That was some autoflower Bam's poison from Hillbilly Herb.
Cool. Nice from Hillbilly Herb. Cool.
Right on.
Tell us how it's going to smoke here in a second.
It's actually pretty good. I'm even smoking it prematurely because I only dried it for like, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 days. It barely made it into the jar before I started smoking on it.
There you go.
Okay.
But I mean, like the flavor profile isn't complete there yet. You know, it's kind of, but fuck, it doesn't get you high.
You guys want to see and I think the answer is going to be yes. You guys want to see the full plant hang on my latest attempt at the autoflower, the same autoflowers that we got for the autoflower grow off. I grew another one in my bedroom. Do you want to see
No.
the massive harvest? No?
No, I don't.
All right, never mind.
Not really.
Well, we don't need to see it, but you could describe it.
Poultry,
okay,
basically.
was it worth your time or not?
No, not really.
All right, let's see it.
All right, just a second.
All right. Oh, thank you, Mrs. D. Yes, straight from Tim Hortons. What a good, nice lady, Mrs. D is. She brought me a fresh coffee.
Well, that's not nice. So,
Ooh,
yeah, I should do like the Spaceballs, or like Jaws. That's the whole thing.
Oh my, that's funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had a plant like that.
Massive, I tell you, massive.
Can you show it again? I missed it with my glare on my camera.
Blink and it'll go away. That's the whole plant right there.
Is it like stripped of leaves or what?
No, it's just dry. This was a whole plant hang.
Well,
No, it's
when
ready.
I would grow, I didn't do any of them this year at all, even though, shoot, I have this one that was given to me last month from James. The name sounds good. OG Kush Auto F4 IBL, but it's auto. Yeah, like I was even saying earlier, especially where I live in my setup, I could take any of my photo plants at any time in whatever size and put them outside, and they're gonna flower pretty much year round. Might have a little revert thing, but they flower. So for me, the autos, like, I did for 3 years, plant a bunch of autos. Even when I had some that a few of them were an ounce or so, 2-ounce plant, in that same crack of seeds, or there'd be these ones that only got like yay big, and just, it wasn't that it didn't make a bud, but it was literally like a lollipop, like maybe 2-gram bud. Like it didn't grow as like the other ones. Now, some of this is, these weren't even seeds that were paid for. I was testing basic, I guess you call it testing. So, and even from talking to James, now that's all about F4, like going to get your autos dialed in, you have to work the line a little bit down. But
Just some little baby one.
I'm not against autos, because I have my one friend. I never go to his house, but for the last few years, I've given him a few. He has 3 kids, lives in like a condo thing, and has both him and his wife have full-time jobs and kids. But over the years, he has a few, I think they're like 5 or 10 gallon pots on his balcony with other house plants and stuff. They live in a complex. but he loves the auto. He can just put a few out there. He usually does 2 or 3, and they grow on his patio without any like direct sun really, or some. I don't, like I said, but I realized, yeah, there's millions, and majority of people have situations like that where they don't have the time or situation or desire to like dig into like trying to grow really good or make it worth their time. But autos for some of those people seem to be like a perfect solution. It's not like they get very big, at least the ones that I've seen. Other people, the Machista, or I don't know the name. There's a couple people that are other auto breeders that seem to have like dialed in a better size plant yielding wise. But the ones I messed with, yeah, overall, they didn't get big enough. Even when I tried all the things. I learned the first year where I did my normal thing where I germinated them, put them in a small container to like that stage, and then planted them into a bigger. The year that they actually did get bigger, way bigger, like 5 times as big as that time. And it was tricky because of the conditions and birds.
I've got
I had to
your
use
world's
chicken
tallest
wire.
auto
I
breeder.
planted them directly in the bed, like germinated them in the outdoor 4x8 bed. Because I mean, I listened to just other people talking about it, but yeah, that taproot moves pretty quick. And if even when you're in the smaller pot, like, as soon as that taproot like hits bottom or has any obstruction like that, it triggers the plant to flower. And so that okay, I said, all right. So I went through the that year I planted like 20 of them, and maybe only 10 of them made it through germinating outside and all that entailed. But the ones that did and had unobstructed from the beginning, yeah, same variety, the same package of seeds or the bag of seeds that year earlier, a bunch of them only grew small. Yeah, they grew bigger. Like I learned that and knowing a taproot, that's a fast moving thing. Even like you put it in a 1 gallon or 4-inch, a couple days, the taproot's going to be coming out the bottom. Like they move quick. So, yeah, I guess the boil it down would, if you can, try to germinate and plant the auto in its final place that has like, a good amount of soil for it to get going. That otherwise, a lot of them become these little tiny things. They're cute.
Nice. I can't remember.
They're
I
like
think
a bonsai. They're like a bonsai.
Oh.
Somehow in my algorithm, because I've looked at a few bonsai people, I get bonsais, and there's a weed guy that is a bonsai guy that does all this cool stuff, but I follow this one old guy. He does like trees, like redwood forest or his, I don't even know how much he must charge, because obviously when he's showing these things on Instagram, he's in the business. But he in some of the posts he says how many, this was 8 years to because yeah, you're talking about big ass trees that somehow he can create these little teeny miniature ones where it's like I was like, wow, that's like, I'm into botany and growing stuff. Yeah, I've never practiced any of it, but if I was to get into some kind of like other plant as a hobby, I'd go at bonsai all the way because I think that's cool.
Don't water your plants in the sunlight, kids.
Well, I know a little
Bonsai!
bit about bonsai, and a lot of the stuff that we say is, well, PGRs and weird stuff like that. Oh, that's the tools of the trade in bonsai. Now they're not smoking or eating it, or it's 100% ornamental. But yeah, I don't know all the names and stuff. But one
Like
of the
those,
like,
you ever gotten those ornamental peppers and it says for ornamental use only? And people are always like, well, but it looks perfectly good. I wonder what's wrong with it. Well, it was treated with a systemic pesticide and it's hard to wrap your head around it. But the pesticide, it's literally systemic. It becomes part of the freaking organism essentially for a long time. It has a half-life of, I can't remember how many generations. I don't remember which pesticide
Well,
I'm talking about right now.
I remembered it
Regardless, all
now.
the different massive
that's-
pesticides. You
that
have to go
stuff-
through 10 generations to make it safe to eat again. Can you imagine?
that stuff that was in the cannabis industry decade or more, paclobutazol, right? It's a PGR, whatever. Oh, that's something that is used in bonsai. Like the fact that, it stunts the vertical growth of plants. Like it makes it that, oh yeah, they don't get any taller when they get hit with that. Well, that's what bonsai guys, that's what they need. And yeah, that's used in with an array of other hormones, like the art of bonsai is a lot of like playing with hormones with plants. That's the art of like getting certain plants to mutate to be miniature,
Well, I guess I don't know enough about it. I thought it was more like trimming and training and stuff, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
you're
that's what
that too,
wiring and
but
shit.
dig into bonsai and you'll find that even when these products, when they first came into the cannabis world, that's the path that who else uses them in agriculture? Oh, bonsai people. Like you can, if you search bonsai and all the things they sell each other. Oh, yeah. Now some of those things aren't all bad. That's one thing about PGRs. Most of them are like plants. They're natural within the plant and stuff. But some of them are bad.
Okay.
Running into two problems so far with the outdoor plants that I have or that I'm helping my friends with. What's the word I'm looking for? I need to give them I think I need to give them some fish hydrolysate or something, which I was hoping I wouldn't have to do because what I'm seeing is some yellowing leaves in the bottom. Nothing major, but if I'm seeing it already, that means that there's already a deficiency. And if it starts to get into flower, I'm worried that it's going to basically really be deficient. So I still see all green shoots and everything else, but down towards the bottom, I see some yellow leaves. So I'm thinking, all right, fuck, I should probably pour some fish hydrolysate in there. What was the other issue I was thinking about? Fuck, I can't remember now.
Well, okay. My dichotomy for the last 4 years since I built the 4x8 soil beds, I won't even call them living soil beds, but okay, there's actual worms in there, and microbial amendments has been maybe, and basically, just cut my story short, I haven't amended that. Oh, the first year when I was gung-ho, I used Craft Blend after the first crop. That was 3 years ago. I just water only with hose water, no, nothing special. And periodically, I throughout the season or whatever, I'll buy a 1.5, a couple of those bags of good worm castings, right? That's from my area, and amend it with that. And there's actually still worms from the big, when I first put the soil together. I had an order from Uncle Jim or whatever of, I don't know, it was 2 kinds and it was maybe a pound or something. It wasn't that much. I took like a quarter of the order when the beds were new and sprinkled like a few worms in each one because I kept I had a worm farm too. I have a worm farm where the 3/4 or more of the order I got, I just have my own little worm farm. But 4 years later, oh, I still like, oh, when I dig hole to put in a new plant, oh, for sure I find worms. Even this year we had a lot of rain. I wasn't really growing then, but the beds got pretty flooded. Worms were coming to the surface like they were drowning or something. And in the 3 or 4 months that I don't grow anything out there, I still water it basically because I know that if I let them dry out, the worms would die and the microbial life will die. So I keep the beds watered year round. I don't use a cover crop or anything. And I think I grow like 9 months a year out of it. Like there's 3-4 months where it's the winter or I don't grow out there. I have, but I've come to realize that a lot of times, oh, certain strains, I've done that where they grew in the winter. They were green strains. They had no purple in them when you grew them inside. But if you let them grow in the December, January, those months here, yeah, they'll turn like so dark, black, purple, small buds, but crusty, but not worth the effort. Like there is a time of year here where you could, I've had other years where the weather was as such that it was a mild winter and you could grow year round. But some years, so over the years, I just take a break from it.
Makes sense.
Don't buy cheap hose, kids.
Yeah, but you know what? It's hard
He
to
said,
find.
Yeah,
Like go to the retailers and oh, they have hose from this price, and this price. And usually even their top price hose is a shitty fucking hose. Like we have a farm supply place called Grangettos that has a few places. Oh, they charge more, but they have all kinds of irrigation shit. I can't forget the name of the brand of hose that they stock. Oh, it's never on sale. It's not super expensive, but it's on the higher end of price. I should remember the name. Yeah, I won't buy any other hose than that.
I got a tip.
I hope one day to run into, so okay, I'll just tell you what I'm imagining. 2 brothers open up a landscaping store or basically a what's the word I'm looking for? A nursery, and it's on the ocean, and it's called Bros Before the Beach with Hose. They basically sell hose out front. All right, I found it a lot funnier than you guys did. That's okay. I'm gonna keep imagining that. That's pretty funny. Ladies
I
and
got
gentlemen, on here. Go ahead, D.
a good tip too is about hoses is just fill your hose, give it a good squeeze, and see if it's nice thick hose. If it's good, then buy it. If it's limpy and soft, then I wouldn't buy it. It's gonna blow.
Well, I mean, I don't do a lot to protect my hose. I leave it like laid out or whatever in full sun, and over a year or two, even the best hose, yeah.
I keep thinking
like
Big
where,
Pimpin'.
where it might have begun as like a no kink, all that stuff, but after a couple years in the sun, yeah, it ain't the same hose.
My good hose is
the sun
across the road.
eats through all that, even all their chemical concoctions that they put into the hose after a couple years
It's
in
hard
direct
to
sun.
Hard to find good hose.
Yeah, especially we put the chemical concoctions in them and put them in the direct sun.
Direct son.
Well, I used to be, well, no, I never was that way. My wife, who's no longer with us,
Your husband built in the direct
mainly the outdoor landscaping, that was her world. And she was very into it. And so she had in every spigot where she had a hose, she had the hose thing to roll up the hose and keep it stored and out of the sun and blah blah blah. And yeah, I don't like I'll drag it to wherever and be done with it. Just leave it there in the sun. I'm lazy.
All right, thank you.
Normally, I wouldn't recommend getting your leaves wet in the sun, but it's super windy out here today. Like it just died down when I hopped on at first. Those plants were whipping around like crazy a little bit ago.
Well, I don't use trellis or anything. I have like I showed out there the PVC structure that is there basically because and then certain plants I just use a few bamboo stakes and a lot of times because I get wind, most of the plants grew up in a certain amount because I live on top of this hill. So like usually 4, 5, 7 o'clock in the evening, when it cools down, it's not windy anywhere else except on my little microclimate on the hill. So like, oh yeah, plants get a good amount of wind up here. And when it gets really windy, oh, it blows. But I've had branches break sometimes when the wind's just too gnarly. But for the most part, if I babied those plants and they were all structured, like I think by them vegging and growing up in semi-windy environment, yeah,
it strengthens them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I was kind of hoping they'd be whipping around right now, but they're not. Probably get gusty getting here in a minute.
Well, when I watched episodes where certain people talked about how they washed their bud before they dried it, like one guy was like, yeah, I live wherever and there's tractor farming going on in my neighbors. So they raise all this dust, which, oh yeah, I can imagine that. Even myself out here when it's windy and a lot of what's blown around is granite dust and stuff. Even though I don't do it, but like when I saw them dunk the plant in the first one and then the second one, and they showed how much sediment, dirt, dust, all the things that are blowing around outside in the air. Yeah, I have never done that, but I imagine, especially in where I'm at or many places outdoor, the difference between outdoor weed and indoor weed is it's got so much more dust and dirt that's been blown around in the air that sticks to the butt. Because like that one video I saw, it was like there was like a how-to, and they were the trash cans with a solution. I think hydrogen peroxide in one and regular water in the other, something like that. And they were showing they harvested like 3-4 foot plant and dunked it in that first one, and they did like 2 or 3 of them, and that water was already like muddy, like quick. I was like, holy shit.
Human bleed will come out of that sometimes off a plant. That's what she says, small tubes.
There's like 5 inches of shit in the bottom of my smoke.
But I can't, the part that I can't, like, I mean, they explained that it doesn't do that, but like to me, if you got the plant wet at that stage, then you like mold and bud rot and all that part would be my concern. Like, cause like even the few times I've had it rain here right close to when plants were done and I cut them down and dry them. And then when we trim it, oh yeah, center of certain big buds had like started to rot out because of the rain or the moisture.
Botrytis.
That's like if I have to say like what is my loss and my outdoor crop, maybe some years it's been worse, but oh, maybe 5 or 10%. Yeah, when you get down into trimming it and all that, there'll be bud rot. It's just like part of like my climate or there's been a few strains that I grow outside to try to address that, which are like, I look for ones that are, what do you call it, open air. I don't, like I was growing super lemon haze for like 2 or 3 years because it had like open bud structure. It wasn't like indica or chunky bud structure. And then the last 2 or 3 weeks, it would bulk up. Like it waited till then to bulk up. And yeah, I didn't get any of that bud rot in that strain, but oh, it was just super lemon haze. It wasn't that exciting of a weed to smoke or anything, but it didn't get bud rot. And I had to keep it growing indoors to keep it for I had it for those 3 sessions outdoor. And that was where yeah, that was too much bullshit. And I lost it. Yeah.
By the way, Dee and I are talking in the chat here. We were trying to probably shouldn't have started talking before coughing. Hold on. Sorry about that. Ladies and germs, I'm singing the song of the stoner, I think. Bud Kilowatt had this idea and Dee had it too, and I was like, oh shit, you guys are of the same mind, or what's the word I'm looking for? Great minds think alike. That's what I'm trying to say. They both said, wouldn't it be fun if Christoph would do a show, basically would be a fun tender on the show. If someone here is listening and knows how to communicate that to Christoph properly without just using Google Translate, as you can see, we're having trouble communicating even in English. We would love to communicate it to Christoph. It would be super fun to have a fun tender, basically, to do some takeovers, kind of like Dee does Saturday's takeovers, and do it in friggin' French, basically. Do a French takeover show potentially. I mean,
Yeah.
the rest of us
second
can
that.
honestly hang and get Christoph experience, right? Like, have you ever thought about that? Like, what's this show like to Christoph? Well, he could do a show all in French, and then we would basically know.
Yeah.
So if anybody
Yeah.
can help with that, that would be super helpful. Or Christoph, if you're listening, if you can figure out what we're saying, that would be awesome. Right.
Yeah, I think that would be appropriate.
I had the
Even if it
same
wasn't that long, like, you know, but I noticed one of the things that he always likes to talk about is what he's smoking. Like last night he was smoking Blue Dream OG Kush, and then he moved to Runs. So
there he is.
the same things that just about all of us do. I can't understand 95% of what he says, but I get the gist of it. It's not like there's what you call it, the cannabis universal language. Like even his gestures are, yeah, he's just one of us who speaks a different language.
Yeah, and maybe
sure.
there's French.
Go ahead.
I agree. I think it's coming all at once. That'd be awesome to watch that and have a couple of buddies or something do it in French, just like how we're doing it in English.
And even though that translate thing isn't always that accurate, I'm pretty sure on the on the what do you call it, replay, you could caption and it would try to translate whatever into English on the caption.
Haha, crime war gross. I know, eh? I wasn't good in French. I would better take Spanish. Oh shit.
Small Tube says, sometimes I speak another language. I just don't know what it is. Jive, maybe? What was that Airplane where the stewardess sits down and she speaks jive?
Yeah, the airplane movie
Uh,
with the two brothers.
or maybe she was a nun. Yeah, there's the two brothers, and then a nun comes down and sits down. That fucking movie.
I finally have a praying plant to show you,
Nice.
and I just got it wet, so it drooped down.
Exactly, skull tubes. Get a hold yourself.
This plant's got to already have a fucking quarter pound on it. Crazy.
Holy shit, Ryan.
Yeah, you're gonna have a pretty good harvest already for sure.
Well, seeds are gonna be fucking dripping off this bitch. Every one
Well,
of you
and
boys
that's
watch the-
all the compost work you do is being utilized in this patch, right?
No, that's going towards the weed plants.
Hmm.
This has got a bit of compost. It does get it. Okay, so it gets compost extract. Normally, when I water, I throw a couple scoops of compost in with my water. So they get some compost, but
Don't call me Shirley.
they're just loving life on this Hugo bed.
Oh yeah.
Well, that soil looks pretty rich and
Picked a hell of a time
Good.
to stop sniffing glue.
I use that all the time.
Picked a hell of a time to stop smoking crack. Whoops, that wrong.
Yeah,
Did I say that loud?
last night I came and I did the same thing on this side. I put compost and fucking
Crack.
chopped and dropped and
Oh.
What you call it, fucking mulch. So I'm going by and fucking making my mulch look happy because it's not looking too happy today. But it greens right the fuck up the second it gets wet. I
I
want
love
all to be
have such esoteric interest that we can sit here and nod when someone talks about happy mulch. Like most people would be like, the fuck are you talking about? Your mulch being happy or sad? But the rest of us are like, yeah, it's good to have a happy mulch. Yeah.
I can't reach to the top of that plant and I'm 6'1".
Nice.
It makes me happy.
And,
Yeah, man.
Next door though, the next door neighbor's got some 13-footers apparently, and I gotta go
Nice.
take a little peek at them. Grab the seeds out of them later this year.
now you're showing us the hemp part of your garden or the
Yeah, well, all these little ones are basically, they're all different weed types. Kind of basically a pheno hunt type deal, and some.
but like
personal-
the tall plant you just were talking about, that was a hemp plant.
Yep, these are hemp right here. All these skinny gals.
What the hell?
Well, it looks pretty damn healthy.
Fuck, the ones that I was pointing at first. Look at the difference in green. Those right there versus these. I think a lot of it just has to do with what's, the soil composition. Because this was just a big log pile. All this was a big log pile in the middle of the swamp for 50 years. And there's spots like right here where it's just, if I dig it up, it's just mulch, or it's still fucking, bark. And I've used that as the first mulch layer, but it's already kind of eaten in to the soil. But like
This
these are
fucking new one. I just had so like half my joint, all the flour fell out of my joint. Sorry.
oh no, I broke a branch. Is that just gonna be one big monster clone, or are we gonna fucking do some electrical tape? Like I'm not even gonna do electrical tape. I'm just gonna wrap it in such a way where I'm weaving it in between this other branch here. You'll do a little French braid action. Thanks to my sister teaching me that when I was a fucking kid. One-handed I can French braid. I didn't know that. There. Now it's gonna hold pressure against there, and I don't even gotta grab tape. Big pimpin'.
I was just trying not to burn the house down. I literally the flour fell out of my joint. Did you say that there's a couple different strains right there? Because I'm noticing big fat leaves right down below and little teeny skinny leaves right next to it.
Okay, yeah, so these plants right here are weeds. They're Triangle Cliff by NL5 Haze by Lime One Backcross from Brandon Russ. And like all the little ones that are all around here, those are also different strains of weed. They're basically a pheno hunt where I'm gonna hit these with those and hit those with these or whatever. We're gonna have males getting laid on both sides. But those plants right there, those tall ones, are hemp too. But otherwise, like yeah, all of these are hemp. But within the hemp itself, there's all sorts of leaf variety. Like these ones here are, twice as fat as those ones damn near. I mean, these ones have a lot more jagged striation on them.
Now these bigger hemp plants, those are all females, or you have a male in there too? Because
no, these are all females. There is
Okay.
pollen. I mean, you can't get away from the pollen. Like I say, there's farmland all around here, and there's fucking these bastards can be sneaky. There can be a 6-inch plant that can fucking, get your garden all fucking year long. And I know there's some I picked fucking 20 of them out of the woods here. But yeah, like I say, these are all males. Like there's one or not females, I mean. God, I'm limping. I got a fucking scab on my toe. And these ones are weed too. But this plant here, this is a hemp one, but it's got fucking fat indica leaves. It looks like the fucking, or they looked like they were a lot fatter when it was younger, I guess. But unless there's another one in here that's got the same thing going on.
now, are they all the same age? And so the hemp ones are all bigger than the more vigorous than the
No, the hemp
weed
plants are way ahead of everything else.
they were growing first.
Yep. And out of them, only those two big ones back there were in situ, I think. I'd have to look at the old pictures of which ones they were. But there was like 5 plants here that were already that nature fucking planted for me. Technically, I didn't crack any hemp seeds though. All the hemp was growing out in this. There's a little field section right here, and that was all growing out in the field. And I transplanted it all when they were like 3 or 4 feet tall. I mean, I found a couple of them in here, and like so when they're growing in the wild and shit, they don't necessarily get huge. All they want to do is make seed, and all they need to be to make seed is be 6 inches tall, basically. And like, you'd be surprised how many I find just fucking going around in the woods, walking around and trying to keep a keen eye. It kind of sucks because there's a lot of plants that they have a morphology a lot like it. Surprised they haven't like this one will look like a fucking a weed plant. It's with a 3-stage or 3-leaf stage or whatever, but like I don't know, it can get frustrating a little bit at times. But like I left one female in the wild over here. But like this little field area, kind of like a backyard area, fucking it turns into burdock. Fucking see, this is how dry it is here right now. And those hemp plants, I don't water them really. I just every once in a while I'll fucking foliar feed them a little bit or foliar spray them. like majority of those plants, some turkey feathers, I found right here. And what happens with this little section is this burdock takes over in the spring, where it's this big ass fucking, you know, cocklebird shit with the big ass leaves. But because we've mowed it down a few times, it's finally kind of gone away in this area. But this was all burdock and hemp that I would diligently fucking seek out and find.
That just grows naturally in that area every year.
Yep. Oh yeah, yep. And
And
Like,
there's
I know
all
it's
kinds
not
of
gonna fall
varieties
over.
of it. It's not just one kind.
it's, say that again.
Well, you showed that there's different types that you have of the hemp. That
Yep, it's all from the
Just-
same. I mean, from what I know, it's all the same lineage. You know, it's all the same.
And wait, you know the long-term history of this property? I mean, somebody probably like
Oh yeah, no, I've
I'm
so,
going 100 years ago had a
so
patch
my
of
great
whatever
my
there.
great grandpa used to own 350 acres that bordered the line, this back of this property, and over that way. And I have a sneaky suspicion that it might been his hemp, because he was a veterinarian during the town veterinarian in the 30s, back when they still grew it out here. And he had a cattle or a dairy, or no, it was a beef farm out there. And so he had a lot of land. And then back then it was the farmers that had land is the one the army gave the seeds to. There's some fucking burdock. You could damn near sit on them things. Toadstools. You better not mention that again, you silly fucker. See that big ass knot? This thing's bigger than your mom, D.
Oh,
Well, there's a little spindly female just sitting here amongst the shit. And it would have been gobbled up. But there was a couple of the males that I took pollen off of were in here too. I don't know if I can spot anymore. Oh shit. It's been like a week since I've done any fucking scouting walks through the wood too, so. God, I know
you're
there's
not
some,
wearing a red hood, are you? With a picnic basket?
no.
Okay.
Well, but in this spot that you move the females over to the better spot and
Yep.
you comb a lot of the males out, right? Over years, what was this natural thing because they just seeded themselves? You're affecting, so like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm trying to say? Not a bad thing. It's like, but like, if the male and females don't grow in that one area and make more seeds each year,
No, so the
eventually-
seed, there's plenty of seeds around here. Don't worry about that. They sit dormant for a long time. So like the old man was out fucking digging in the gravel pit, and he moved a couple log piles that haven't been touched in 15 years probably, he said. And just like, I mean, there's like piles of stumps and shit everywhere. And sure enough, there was fucking a whole bunch of little tiny baby plants, but they didn't get any water, so they're just in. And because this shit's just drier than shit. We got fucking we got like 4 inches of rain like a few days ago. And I mean, it's drier than a fucking popcorn fart in the ground. Except for in the woods here where you got the living shit happening. Yeah, I know there's got to be more of them over here. I should hop in the damn truck and drive down to that other guy's farm here, but nothing else. I'll either break a toe because I'm in sandals, or I'll fucking scare up some deer. Those things will fucking not let go.
how hot is it?
It's about, I'd say, I don't know, 75, 80 maybe. In the 70s for sure. I don't know. I don't have my weather on my swipe down anymore. And it's windier and shit. Like we're kind of in a protected area, so it's not as windy as like if you go to the lake right next door. I'm sure there's whitecaps, but
Well, it seems like a pretty lush ecosystem thriving in its environment.
well, I mean, shit's all you know. That all this stuff is like same with any of that hemp. Any of the plants that I got, I mean, they went the first 3-4 weeks of their life without any water, other than what was in the ground, because it did not rain in the spring here for shit. Everything here just looks. Usually, it's fucking dark green like this, you know. Usually, we get a hell of a lot more rain than we did this year. Ooh, something got eaten right here.
That's what she said.
No, that was a
Well, ladies and germs, maybe on the way out here, I will show you. Finally, I've been promising, and finally I can deliver. And by the way, as an added dessert, basically, iGruesome has posted a couple pictures here. So let's see here in just a second. I can show Sam Olson showed us. Let me see here. Portion of screen. Exactly, over on the Discord. Ladies and germs, I don't advertise it very much these days, just for reasons, I guess, because the Discord was weird, but whatever. It's actually kind of nice. I'm laughing at myself because honestly, like, there's a lot of chill conversations here and stuff. Anyway, so ladies and germs, I told you that. Sorry that this is such a small image, but hopefully I'll get these here soon. Anyway, I can't seem to zoom on these. Told you that mail was a showstopper. Look at the frickin', I mean, just magazine quality fucking cannabis on that one.
Wow.
Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? That looks like a picture that Team Terpene would have shot or something. Seriously, that thing is fucking luscious.
Mhm.
Picture of him in his natural environment, basically, with the ladies, pretty much, doing his thing, doing his sexy time dance. That's one of the girls right there. Another one, I believe, all seated up, nice and frosty. We'll have to get Sam did send me pictures of all these, so I'll have to get them downloaded and labeled, hopefully on the website. So he did in this post. I don't know which one is which, but in the email, he definitely knows which one is which. So I think this might be the Coot Special cross, or the Forum Cut cross, based on how the leaf shape is. But anyway, we'll figure it out. I don't want to lie to you. Ladies and germs, like I said, it's basically Runts of Eden to Coot Special, and then again Runts of Eden back to Coot Special, knocked together, or Runts of Eden to Coot Special, knocked to the Forum Cut cookies, knocked to Coot Special. So Coot Special basically on both sides, no matter what, and Runts of Eden on one of the strains on both sides as well. Runts of Eden is runts to forbidden fruit, so that should be some explosively flavorful weed indeed. Take a look at how many seeds we have. So ladies and germs, I am looking for testers. Actually, it looks like there's 5 bags, so we'll have to figure out what the 5th one is. So ladies and germs, sign up now. Like I said, I am trying to find time to do the actual application, blah blah blah, but DM me if you're interested. In the meantime, ladies and germs, if you've ever tested for me before, and there's been quite a few people who have, now is a great time to reapply. All you really have to do is just tell me that you're definitely going to grow the plants and stuff. I'm not looking to snoop through your life or some shit, you know what I mean? I just basically want some assurances that you will actually grow the plants and kind of take them halfway seriously. Other than that, honestly, you don't want the breeder to really be too in the face of the tester, because you want them to have a true testing experience. Anyway, this right here is the dessert for the experience, ladies and germs. This is Gruesome growing Morgana. You guys have heard earlier. Who was it yesterday that was
Holy
like,
shit.
yeah, Morgana that you're talking about, Fibidor? No, Morgana is something that I bred, ladies and gentlemen, from originally Cuvée F2 to Root
Wow.
2.
Look at
Well,
And
that one looks really nice, like the size container, like the whole growth. The
look at the doorway
Yeah.
over there. Yeah, absolutely. It looks like
Yeah.
it's up to the doorway. Might be a little bit of parallax, might be only maybe a foot or a foot and a half below the doorway. Still a nice big old plant. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of flower. That's up close already, looking nice and frosty. So that's Morgana. She's yields really well. She's a nice dominant plant, and she's really, really frosty. And give you a nice giggly high as well. So anyway, take a look, my friends. Soon to be gracing a garden near you if you sign up as a Fumi tester. That's not the real name for it. That's kind of just silly. I just came up with it just now. But you can call yourself a Fumi tester if you want to, for all I'm concerned. If you want to call yourself a Fumi tester, I'll send you 11 seeds instead of 10 or something. Anyway, you'll have to remind me that happened though, because I probably will forget. But in the meantime, sign up, ladies and germs. Looking for testers now, right? Meow, basically, if you remember Super Troopers.
Oh.
4 or 5 strains of my own, ladies and germs. And by the way, the offer still stands if you want to do a little bit of Fumi Skunk Works kind of projects. I definitely have some unreleased lines, I guess you could call it, basically stuff that I was going to use for breeding stock, future projects, blah, blah, blah. Well, especially in light of the disruption right now that I'm not explaining, but I'll tell you guys more about in the future. But basically the cart is flying in front of the horse and everything else. Especially in light of that, I definitely have some projects that you might be interested in working on, some super secret skunkworks stuff. If you'd like to help me test those, that's an option. If you'd like to help me breed with those, that's an option. There's a bunch of options available. So folks, sign up potentially if you're interested in being a Fumidoro Skunkworks collaborator. And then also, of course, sign up as a tester. Also, we're looking for fun tenders, my friends, especially in light of the fact that I'm really busy lately, a little bit too busy to do these shows. It would be lovely if a few people would sign up to do some takeovers, basically take the pressure off D, and the audience loves the takeovers. So folks, sign up meow over at just DM me Discord or email me fumidor@chronictable.com. Looking for people who will not engage in bullshit, pretty much. Just don't engage in bullshit. That's all you really have to do. Rise above the fray, and then that's it. Just be chill. You don't even really have to be an expert grower or anything else. These shows are enhanced by their variety. So honestly, the more kinds of people do these shows, the better. So let me know at fumidor@chronictable.com. Discord, you name it. Sign up over at our Discord if you'd like. D and I can happily send you a link for the Discord. Other than that, yeah, if you guys would like to take a look at Sour Morgana or any of the other strains over at Fumidoro, use the coupon code Moving Sale, ladies and germs, to save a whopping 42% off. Help me out a little bit during the move. Help yourself out a little bit during these ridiculous times where a burger costs 20 something fucking dollars anymore. Going out to Chinese costs, I don't even know how much anymore. We just stopped counting pretty much. If you guys would like to save a little bit of cash for a change, use Moving Sale as the coupon code. One big word, 42% off, ladies and germs. Cheers, Lugo. Good to see you, my friend. Yeah, I don't know. That slowly just about wraps it up here. Let's look at what are we looking at, Ryan? Is that the compost or the soil? No, wait, I'm not making you
It
co-host.
seems like it looks like solid worm castings. All them white speckles in there. This is just layers of
probably egg.
cottonwood bark, a couple 100-year-old trees.
Interesting. Is this just out? You don't have to say, obviously. Is this out in the woods, or is this your woods, or what is this?
Yeah, I don't want to say.
It's where it's. I think it's where he buries the bodies.
That's probably true. That's probably true.
I think
Yeah,
going state land.
Well, curious, 'cause he
it's
spent so much
compost for
time-
sure.
Well, yeah, he spends so much time investing in that soil. Wouldn't it be nice to think that he could actually keep that? But fuck, the life of a grower is just basically toiling away sometimes, right?
I've been around this property for
Oh, right on.
quite a while.
Well, those handfuls of soil you show look like the real, like what is soil? Like not a mix, not a, a lot of us live in places where like, oh, I live on a granite hill. There's no like soil. Even my whole area that they grow agriculture, the properties, oh, they put soil on top of the granite. Do that. Like everything's granite here, like whatever you call that. And
Yeah, so in the bottom of this pond bed that I grow in, I think that dirt's got to be at least 4 feet deep. It might be deeper than that though. I'll check here.
Hello, 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 hello.
You might honestly have some really rich soil there, right? Because all the glacial runoff basically, and then the glaciers receded and left all that silt and sand and soil and everything else. That's famously the reason why the Willamette Valley is so absurdly rich. We basically accidentally stole, I mean, 50,000 years ago, we stole Montana, Alberta, fucking parts of Idaho, Washington's topsoil, basically. Like it just got all scoured away by several gigantic inland tsunamis, pretty much, when a fucking huge glacier runoff lake burst. Lake Missoula, the Lake Missoula flood, I guess is what it was called. And it's
You were Lake Agassiz here.
Pardon?
Lake Agassiz was the one that was here.
And so did that do the same thing? Did it deposit like shitloads of silt and sand? Area? Wow.
Yeah, there's moraines and there'll be big boulders, like boulders the size of a fucking
Dramatic rocks. Yeah,
of
yeah,
a
yeah.
car just sitting on top of it, just chilling out.
Plus the decades of decay, like all that, the whole
what
thing,
this-
the
so this is
ecosystem.
my hand dug well that I've been doing here. It's I
Is
should
that
have
what
a lot
you found
better
those
better
slugs?
temps or whatever, but that didn't touch bottom. That just hit the bucket. But we got like 6 feet here at least of topsoil, and then after that it turns into this. It's just decayed plant matter is the best I can describe it. It's like fucking clay.
Huh.
Like
Almost a peat bog or something.
well, it basically is. I mean, this is a fucking
It's
a
marsh.
swamp in the fucking in the swamp in the spring. Some years, I mean, we used to have a boat out here where some years you could take the boat out here and go trolling around for like until fall.
So wait, you can just dig a hole like that size and then run a pump and pull water to water?
Probably.
Yeah, so I only did this out of a sheer necessity. Like if I just went and spent the money, you can. It's much easier just to put stick a sandpoint well in. You get some fucking 1.5 or 2 inch pipe, and then you would go down probably like 20 feet. I don't have my powerful sump pump in there right now. It'd be sucking a lot faster, but it goes down another fucking. I want to say at least 5 feet from here. That hit something too.
Now,
But-
I mean, that water is obviously mineral rich and all that, but is it like have like a decent pH and not any spikes in anything that's like,
To be honest,
Or-
I haven't even tested it. But it's not ideal. It's not where I want to be at yet. Like I say, I haven't broken through to the aquifer. But I mean, like, I'll have constant water here. This is where the water table is. But and normally when I pull a shovel out, it's all stuck there. So that means I'm getting close. I'm getting to sandy shit. But yeah, because like this stuff, it smells a lot like sulfur. Because it's got sulfur creating bacteria that break down. Is really, I mean, this is like the last bit of the fucking of the stuff before it becomes black dirt. It's the bottom. I don't know how to explain it, but it's plants sure don't mind the shit. I'll tell you what.
somehow when you show all the, I know that you're north part, but I'm always thinking, yeah, this looks like the swamps of Louisiana.
Basically, yeah, he's up in Minnesota, right?
Yeah, I'm a couple hours from Canada, eh?
So he's up at the pretty much the deltas, yeah. Old inland.
I'm right where I'm basically east of where North and South Dakota meet. I'm not that close to Canada, but I'm 4 hours from Canada, something like that.
Very interesting.
And this is like a pocket of like a microclimate in that type of area, right?
Not really. It's called Lakes Country, where
Oh yeah, all these lakes
here-
and water, so much water.
yeah, though they say 10,000 lakes, but that's just because they got to be over so many square feet or whatever. But there's a lake Kurkowski in Minnesota. The fucking they fucking
They say they just stopped counting under a certain size because they're like, fuck off. We
I
gotta
think the number is 11,000 something technically, but no, there's there's some pretty big bodies of water that are just, they don't have names or anything, you know, or they're ponds, but I mean, I'm within 10 miles of probably 20, I don't know, a lot of lakes.
See, I live
I'm
in
I'm
Southern
within 20 miles
California,
of 50 for sure.
that if you took away the water that is brought in to the area, we're just a desert, right? But like, yeah, so if you water, oh, it's scarce. Like, oh, that's not like you can just dig up some water. You know what I mean? Not in Southern California. Oh, there's might be some pockets of, there's little things, nature, but for the most part, oh, water's like, yeah, you get it out of the hose. You know what I mean? And you pay for it.
This stuff is it's still a little bit murky.
By the way, it's
Like,
been killing me. Turn your fucking phone sideways. There we go. Oh, you just did it for a second. Turn it sideways again. Damn it, you have Orient. Do you? No, there you go. Perfect.
Like I randomly or I periodically take tests. Like
Tell us
you can
that's
see
your-
the sediment
Don't
swirling
fucking
around
tell
there
us.
in the bottom.
That is your pee. Don't fucking tell us.
No, but if I were to let this settle for a day,
Oh, you'd
it
have
would be clear, all clear on the top, and there'd be just a little bit, kind of like this pool is probably clear water on the top. I'm fucking stumbling around everywhere.
Now, every once in a
know.
while, especially after you just explained how close to Canada you are, all of a sudden I hear like Canadian accents in your way you talk. But then sometimes I don't hear that at all.
Take off, eh?
Hey, yeah.
Maybe he's code switching.
Canadian.
us. Maybe as soon as he turns off the iPhone or the freaking stream, he's like, "Oh, I'm from Minnesota. Hey, my name's Ryan."
Hey,
And over on here, I'll show you some other shit here. If my battery doesn't die first.
Is it true that you guys are required legally to eat Danishes every morning for breakfast?
To eat what?
Danishes. That's not a.
No, I don't know if
That was an attempt at a joke.
that's
It
not a thing. We
Oh,
eat hot.
no, I'd
Danishes.
sign
Oh,
up.
Danishes, you probably
I
call them
would
like
sign
Danishes.
up for properly baked cheese, like what they call cheese Danish.
I mean, I'm
That's
not
my
arguing
favorite
that.
pastry. I
Danish
take it
are-
every morning with my coffee, but like made proper, not the grocery store yucko.
Oh. Oh yeah, I'd love one with the fucking cream cheese and fucking raspberry or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Even
You guys
that,
probably
yeah.
call them Pringles, huh? Yeah. Out here we call them Danishes.
We got
I love
ludicrous
my-
stuff here.
What's that, D?
I love my coffee like I like my men black.
You like your Danishes like you like your man frosted. All right. On that note, ladies and germs, let's start wrapping up.
Oh, you see, I'll show you
But
on.
I have to be honest, Danishes are pretty fucking amazing. Like they're sweet, they're salty, they're freaking savory and sweet. What else do you want? Patty.
The other side of the property.
Oh, there's
Kitchen well.
wind fucking galore. Are you in a hurricane right now?
Sorry about that. Told you it was windy out here.
As he blows away. No. Oh, I saw a couple of dirt devils the other day. You don't really see them in Portland, but when you go out in the country, you're like, oh yeah, right, freaking little just dirt tornadoes. You know, they just kind of spin up for I don't know, 20 seconds or whatever. It's not like super destructive or whatever. It's not like a real tornado, but it's the same basic principle as a tornado. Oh, and I saw a cloud rainbow maybe like 2 weeks ago. I haven't seen one of those in a while. Like
What?
the whole cloud was a rainbow, basically.
Oh, right
I
on.
thought you said quad, like double rainbow all across the sky.
No, but I did see. Oh, this was probably last year. Actually, now that I think about it, I saw a triple rainbow. Basically, that's kind of unusual too. Am I thinking of the same? I think I had pictures of it. Fuck, I know. I'll forget to look for it. Anyway, I think it was 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it was a triple rainbow. Anyway,
I've seen a couple doubles. I've never seen triple.
I know. I can't remember if
Yeah,
I
but-
watched the other one. Maybe I have, but I certainly didn't notice it. You know,
Depends on what the mushrooms you're on.
that's right. Exactly right.
Well, I'll be first to sign off
Cheers,
because
bud. Good to see you,
we're
my
getting
friend.
to the finals of the surfing is happening at Tahiti. Even though as we've been on here and since I woke up. All the surfers I rooted for in the competition, yeah, we got knocked out in the round of 16.
Okay.
It's still gonna be whatever, but I have a couple people that I'm always rooting for, and yeah, we came up shit today.
All the
But
more time
have it.
next time. Cheers, bud.
Yeah, have a good day, everyone.
Hey,
It
buddy.
was fun.
You too, bud.
Stay safe.
Yeah, man.
You too, bud.
Go for it, Mr. Ryan. Go for it, my friend. Oh, just mute yourself. Oh, he might be roboting. All right, D, I guess go for it. my friend.
Later.
Go for it, Ryan.
Yeah, goodbye.
There we go. Cheers, Ryan. Go for it, D.
Sweet, simple, and sweet. There you go.
Always.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks everybody for watching in the chat. That's chatting. That might not be chatting. That'll be listening in the background, doing some work, gardening, blah blah blah. Find me on my new YouTube channel. I'm gonna be starting soon a spider mite farm.
Yeah.
Welcome to be sure to check me out there.
Is that the name, Spider Mite Farm?
Yeah,
Love
spider mite farm.
it. Cheers, D.
Yeah, and remember, you have to help control the pet population. Have your pet spayed or neutered.
Nice. Mr. Scotto, I could have just responded to you verbally. I could have just said, right on, dude. I'm excited to hopefully I'll give it a chance to share them with you if that's a chance. I mean, that was rude. Like, I don't mean give me half your plant or something. No, I would love to taste them if possible. That'd be funny. You owe me half that plant right now. Anyway, I'm sure there are people like that, but I'm not. A puff, or well, maybe a couple joints. That's all I require. Cheers, Mr. Scotto. Though I'm really happy that you seem to be enjoying those pig curries. So that was the whole idea. Still have that mom. So with any luck, I'm going to be breeding her in the near future. She was in the lineup. Maybe somehow it'll fucking happen again. So it'd be fun to have a version 2 of Pick Chris, because actually so far everyone has really liked Pick Chris. Haven't gotten a ton of pictures, hint, 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 but ladies and germs, feel free to send them, by the way, if you want a more overt hint. But in the meantime, people have been saying nice things about Pick Chris. I'm very happy about that. It's always nice to, so far nothing about the white wet or the Midnight Matrimony, but I haven't sent out a ton of those yet. Might have found some extra Pick Chris's the other day. I haven't had time to check, but anyway, that might be good news. We'll see. Time will tell. No promises for a while. Don't even have the seeds here anymore. They're somewhere else. Anyway, ladies and germs, what was I trying to say? Always into getting pictures from the strains that you guys have grown in mine. If you are customers, if you've gotten freebies, if I gave you a pack of seeds one time, feel free to send me pictures. Let me know if I can use those pictures on my website or on Discord or whatever. If you have any particular boundaries, like, oh, sure, Fumidor, send it on the, put it on the Discord, but not on your website. For example, maybe you don't want people from every single possible country being able to view it. Hey, I understand, people live in different places in the world. I don't want to ask too many questions and get you in trouble. But in the meantime, I would be happy to see pictures from all of the grows that you guys have had. Hoping to put something like that on the website one of these days, but I have been sort of set back on a few different timelines by a few things, so we'll get there hopefully, ladies and germs. Had a couple great ideas, I think, for some in-person events in the last few weeks, so we'll get there too, my friends. Hopefully in the fall we'll be able to get some stuff going. I think you guys will enjoy it. Hopefully, obviously that's always the hope. You don't want people to fucking dislike the meetings, right? So anyway, shouldn't be so cryptic until I get more information. I should probably just keep it somewhat tighter to the vest. Well, actually, no. Honestly, this show has been so paranoia-inducing at times that it's just kind of ridiculous. Oh, whatever. Anyway, ladies and germs, like I said before, looking for testers, looking for collaborators potentially. The word collaborator is such a fucked up word now, thanks to World War II, isn't it? Anyway, it means such normal things, but every time I say it, I'm like, I like history, and every time I say it, I like remember freaking World War II. Anyway, not collaborators in the bad way, right? Ladies and germs, I would like to work together, if possible, towards better and greater things. If also, by the way, I didn't say this earlier, but I've said it before. If you would like, honestly, to mix in some of your genetics into breeding projects, I'm open to that discussion as well. A lot of people have, sometimes without my permission, so I'm not really that cool with that anymore. I was kind of okay with it before, but now I'm going to be a little bit more selective. Some people have mixed their genetics with my lines, again, sometimes with permission, sometimes with not, and that's super entertaining. I don't understand, frankly, all the breeders and all the people who are like, oh, you can't use my shit, it takes away from me as a fucking, I don't know, do they think that, like, are they those kinds of people that think that a photograph takes away from your soul or something? Like, do they think that growing that cultivar mixed with something else will take away from their right to get into heaven or something? I don't understand what the fucking problem is. I think it's a great honor that someone would take your genetics and run them for maybe the rest of their life in the form of something that they crossed and something that they, I don't know, created, whatever. I think that's a wonderful, wonderful thing, honestly, but in the right context, not necessarily as a tester, or I don't know, how do I put this? Yeah, basically as a tester or a skunkworks project, maybe not, unless we discuss it first. So folks, if you guys would like to do something, if you've been thinking, fucking hell, I have this awesome Morgana and I would like to blah, 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 let me know. I'd be happy to work out some terms or work something out, whatever. All I can say is no. All you can say is no. Ladies and germs, let's have at it. I'm not going to insult your mother or something. I might joke about it, but I'm not going to really insult your mother. I don't even know your mother. How would I know? She might be the most lovely person in the world. How do I know? She might make the world's best pie. A couple days ago, I had what is apparently voted the best burger in the entire Willamette Valley. It's pretty good. I almost never say this. So actually, it probably was a fantastic burger. It was actually a little bit too much burger. I ordered a double. Now, granted, it was called a colossal or a big or whatever the fuck it was called, but it was like literally a double, and it was actually too much fucking burger. It was like 8 ounces of meat and a bunch of cheese and whatever. It was fine. It was a huge fucking burger. Yeah, and it was like a hot day and stuff, so I was like, man, I don't want to put it away and like have it spoil and stuff, so I like literally scarfed down the whole fucking burger. It was a bit too much burger. So next time, the single it is, when I try the single, then I'll let you know, ladies and gentlemen, if it is actually the best burger in the entire Willamette Valley. Color me skeptical, because whenever people say that kind of stuff, I'm the best. It's pretty good. It was a solid fucking burger. It was solid, but too much. When's the last time that you said you got too much burger from someplace? That's honestly kind of like its own kind of props. Weirdly enough, though, because that's a very American thing. Apparently in other countries, they're like, no, I want a very small portion of a burger or whatever. Americans are not like that. Americans are like, no, fucking bigger the better.
Supersize me.
Yeah, 18 ounces of fucking meat on there. Yeah, 47 patties thick. Yeah, fucking literally diabetes on the spot. Go ahead, D.
I actually did a quarter pound, or not a quarter pound, like a half-pound burger one time. Just finished it. It was massive, but it was good.
Best part is that a half-pound burger for most Americans is really not that much. I was literally just talking about a little bit more than that. Yeah, like a half pound is normal. But then when you actually get like all the cheese and stuff, oh fuck, that gets a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep. There's a place I want to say in, I don't remember, Tigard or something. Yeah, I used to order their half pounder as a kid, and it was literally a quarter pound patties, cheese, and da. I think that place is still around. I should go there one of these days. Anyway, ladies and germs, wouldn't it be hilarious if they got flooded with people? We saw you on the Fumidoro channel, and they'd be like, "What? What is that? I don't know." Okay, it's probably not going to happen, but still, it'd be funny if it did. Ladies and germs, I think on that hilarious note on food flash mobs or something, we're going to burger flash mobs. That's actually a good idea. We're going to end it there, ladies and gentlemen, on burger flash mobs. We're going to bring that flash mobs back. We're going to make it cool again. Not like Justin Timberlake. He's kind of a douchebag, but we're going to do it better. Thanks very much for joining us, ladies and germs. Until we meet again. Dee, did you say that we're going to do a takeover on Saturday?
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
11 o'clock, 8 Pacific.
Sweet. Thank you, D. Very much appreciated for doing those takeovers.
Yeah, buddy.
You owe D, I don't know, not necessarily debt of thanks, but you owe him your thanks, I think, for those Saturday shows, because otherwise I don't think we could do them, ladies and germs. On that same note, I forgot to mention earlier, we are looking for fun tenders for other shows, both for existing show times, because some of these might not be possible otherwise, and also for new show times. So, for example, Christoph, hopefully he'll figure out what we're trying to say. Otherwise, we'll have to translate it to one of these shows. Looking for a fun tender, maybe on a time like in French, for example. But not only that, maybe wake and bakes, whatever else, ladies and germs, all kinds of things are available if you just would like to do it. Let me know, Humidor Chronic Table or Discord, just DM me, ladies and germs. Other than that, my friends, I think I'm gonna leave it there. Thanks, Ryan, for joining us, my friend. I Gruesome, thank you very much for the pictures. Best burgers are simple, in my opinion, I Gruesome is saying. We should totally do like a burger off one of these days. That would be a super fun show. You know what? In September, we could totally do that. Actually, how fun is that? We could totally do that. All right, we might do that. Remind me, ladies and germs, because I am so stressed out lately that I might forget. But in the meantime, that's a great idea. I think that would be super, super fun. A live stoned burger grow off. Fuck off. That is fucking hilarious. That's a great idea. What do you think, D? A live stoned burger grow off. Not
Grow off.
Fry off or whatever the fuck.
Sure, that sounds good.
Yeah. You get stoned and everyone makes their own burger, and then we compare burgers and the audience votes on best burger.
That's
And
awesome.
best burger wins a pack of seeds.
Yeah, there you go.
We could totally, if we have enough contestants, we could totally do a pool. We could do like March Madness. We basically have like elimination round. All right, I'm hoping this to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. We're going to be doing the stoned burger flame off. There we go. The stone burger flame off. Name in progress, basically, because that's a long name. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, coming to a grill or frying pan near you soon. We're going to be comparing burgers and getting fucking high. And then eating the burgers and then getting high more probably. In the meantime, ladies and germs, thank you very much for hanging. I think that was worth the price of admission just there. I'm gonna write that shit down because I don't want to forget that. What's that, D?
I just did.
Nice. All right, that way I don't have to write it right down. But I bet you anyway I'm gonna forget. All right, I'm gonna fucking write this down because I don't want to forget this. Stoned burger grill off. Boom. There we are. Here is. I don't even know. Thank you very much for hanging, my friends. Be kind, be decent, be gentle. I burger flash mobbed your mom. Nice, Ryan. Be kind, be decent, be gentle, unlike Ryan was to your mama. Thankfully she asked for it. Well, that sounds terrible, actually. She was back out of that. That's terrible. We're just gonna basically ignore all that failed joking. Be kind, be decent, be gentle, ladies and gentlemen. Pretend you didn't hear. I just made several failed jokes. In the meantime, puff something wonderful. Until we meet again on Saturday. Thanks very much for hanging, my friends. Also the couple fucking troll fuckbag Karens. Honestly, just get a life, you fucking weirdos. Brush your teeth, maybe, for a change. It's really kind of disgusting. I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to, of course. Nobody really has to, but 5 out of 5 dentists recommend. Later, Gators and Julian Taters. Thanks very much for hanging. That's it. Adios.